Mars, the Red Planet, the next milestone for human space travel. In the year 2080, Jack Cleary and Jessica Appleton are repairing weather damage at their colony, Fort Minor, when an alarm is triggered for a mining colony with no one answering. Jack sets off to answer this distress call at Fort Solis. This isn't a review. I'm just a guy who came across a game that I ended up enjoying, and I wanted to talk about it. Do not take my word as gospel. Decide for yourself if you like this game on your own time. There are going to be spoilers for the entirety of this game. You have been warned. Before we get into story-related stuff, I just want to say that I really like the drive to Fort Solis. It's not engaging as the drive is automatic and you can't move the camera at all, but Mars looks beautiful. It's vast and empty. If I could, I'd probably have explored it for hours, but unfortunately, we have an alarm to answer. Upon arriving to Fort Solis, we're met with nothing. The doors are locked and no one is meeting us at the gate, so we scale a wall, narrowly avoiding death, and slowly make our way to the atrium. Another quick side note, the atrium is actually my favorite area of the game. The pink tree in the center and the emptiness, while slightly haunting, also gave me a sense of bliss, of respite. As Jack makes his way through the base, you notice that no one is around. The place is empty. There's a poker game that looks like it's unfinished, someone's bedroom door is wide open, and a projector screen that looks like it was about to be used, but there's no one around. There's not a single soul here. Eventually, you make your way down to the medbay. You find blood on the floor, and after gaining access to the surgery room, you find the source. A security guard, dead from what appears to be 3 stab wounds in the heart. At this point, it's become clear. The alarm tripping wasn't an accident. Someone is dead and the murderer could be walking around anywhere. Unfortunately, as you're about to leave, a purge is activated station-wide and oxygen is dropping fast, but you've left your helmet back in the atrium. So, crawling through the maintenance duct and racing up the stairs to get your helmet on, you're finally able to breathe that clean, sweet air. However, a knock at the door unfortunately reveals the fate of another crew member, Helen DuPont, a senior botanist who has died of a stab wound and lack of oxygen from a compromised helmet. Jessica files a report to Central and tells you to return to Fort Minor. Now, with the stakes higher and a lockdown in effect, it's clear you need to leave, but Jack wants to find the other 4 people through the security cameras and save them, though Jessica implores you to just leave and let Central handle the incident. Making your way to maintenance to access the generator and lift the lockdown, you come across another crew member on the surface of Mars, Nicholas Tout, a mining supervisor. He's without a spacesuit and his jaw is broken. His death was clearly in another location, but we have no more evidence to go on. So, once inside maintenance and making your way downstairs, Jack attempts to fix the generator, only to find both have been sabotaged by someone. Finally realizing the situation he's in, Jack agrees that it's time to leave. He's then attacked by Wyatt Taylor, the lead officer of Fort Solis. Unfortunately, Jack is overpowered and knocked unconscious. Meanwhile, Jessica, who had been on comms with Jack the entire time, also travels to Fort Solis to rescue him. So, after forcing herself in through a door, she is met by Taylor Wyatt attempting to pretend to be Nicholas Tout. Jess sees through this lie, however, and runs off, narrowly escaping Wyatt, who promises her that he'll be back for her. Now in the base, Jess searches for Jack. Unable to find him, and with Wyatt taunting her through the radio, Jess makes her way to the greenhouse where Wyatt is. There, she finds Jack tied up and is attacked by Wyatt, claiming that, due to a sickness inflicted on them by eating food grown from Martian soil, he's killed everyone to stop them from further spreading this disease. After a brief struggle and an axe to the abdomen, Jess is able to fend Wyatt off long enough for Jake to wake up, unbind himself, and incapacitate Wyatt. Limping and in pain, the duo make their way to a nearby airlock, only for Jess to shut it on Jake to prevent Wyatt from killing them both, sacrificing herself. Jake, now alone, walks his way into a warehouse of vehicles to escape, only for Wyatt to catch up with them. In the final confrontation, both men are severely injured. Jake, a broken arm, and Wyatt, an axe wound. As Wyatt prepares to deliver the final blow, a soldier shoots him in the back, killing him and saving Jake, who, moments later, passes out, drained of energy, but safe nonetheless. And that's the end of Fort Solis. Yes, really. It's short, and to be fair, I did cut out a lot of Jess's areas, as most of hers is just backtracking to other areas that we've already been to. But, yeah, that's it. What's told to you directly is a small amount. Yeah, there's tons of audio files, emails, and the like to find, but the game is... there's just nothing there. I'm gonna start with the things I like about this game first, then the bad stuff, because, well, every game deserves its chance to shine. For starters, I love the aesthetic. A mining colony that looks like it's slowly starting to crumble. Lights flashing, panels are off the walls as if in the middle of a repair. The voice actors in this game did well as well. Roger Clark, who played Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2, played Jack. Jessica is played by Julia Brown, a Scottish actress in a crime drama called Shetland. I really hope I didn't butcher that name. And Troy Baker, from, The Last of Us, Saints Row, and a host of other games, plays Wyatt Taylor. The story has a really cool premise that kept me curious all the way up to the end as well. I mean, murder mystery, whodunit. I really thought they were going to be like aliens or something, but no, it just turned out to be the medical chief officer dude who, I don't know, got paranoid about space radiation and food, I guess. I mean, it's a cool premise, but not where I thought it was going. I love the interactions between Jack and Jessica at the beginning as well. Before all the bodies start appearing, so everything seems nice and a little quirky.
Hey, guess what I found?
Am I actually supposed to guess?
Well, you remember when we first came up here? Before they started arguing over the territory?
Yeah?
They still have one of those old Earth Force flags.
Earth what?
Well, not that. I think it was called Earth Expedition Force.
It wasn't that either, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Well, they still have theirs.
And where did you find that?
In a supply room.
Why are you in a supply room?
I miss peanut butter. I took a chance.
Priorities.
And finally, the level design. It's very interconnected, but it's not so large that you get lost and it feels like a slog to navigate. Now for the bad stuff. Most obvious, of course, is the walk speed. You're stuck at one speed the entire game, and gods damn it if it isn't already annoyingly slow. I don't know if this choice was to build tension from slowness or to pad the runtime for an already short game, but all it served was annoying the hell out of me. Next is the voice acting. I know I just said that they did well, and it's true, they did, but they feel out of place. I'm not sure how to describe it, but it's as if you put 9 out of 10 voice acting into a 5 of 10 game. It's not a great criticism, but I'm not a professional, so moving on. The story also has some problems. Not in any one particular thing, it's just too short, the pacing is off, and it doesn't really do anything with its antagonist. Don't get me wrong, Wyatt is a cool character, but he's so underused that I kind of forgot that he existed until he'd call me. I honestly thought he was a corpse at one point while I played after he had just attacked me 15 minutes ago. I think if he was maybe more present physically, I would have changed my mind on that stance, but that's not how it went down. The map that the game gives you is also just kind of illegible. Half the time it overlaid different floors on top of each other and I wouldn't know where to be looking, nor would it accurately tell me where I myself was standing on said map. Finally, my last complaint isn't really about the gameplay or mechanics, but this just isn't a horror game. It's not. It's a tension builder. It's a walking simulator with no enemies that only serves to build the tension as high as it can before it jump scares you. That's not to say walking simulators are bad, but calling this a horror game is a stretch. It just can't be called that. Overall, I'd say Fort Solis is a 6.5 out of 10 game. It needed more substance and maybe a bit more fleshing out story-wise, but the atmosphere, characters, and story premise were all solid. It felt kind of like a tech demo, or maybe a prologue to something bigger. I hope we get a sequel that makes it into something better, but for now, take it as it is. I enjoyed this game overall, honestly. Maybe you will too. It's on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, so if this is something you might like, pick up a copy. I'll see you in the next live stream, or maybe you'll stop around for a video, a short, maybe even join the official Discord. Regardless, I'll see you later. Have a good night, everybody.